So I finally got around to watching Eternals after it made its way to Disney+. Now after seeing the abysmal critical reception and the overall sense of meh coming from general audiences, I was expecting the film to be a disaster. So is the film really as bad as everyone says it is? No. However, do I think the film is good? Not really. Is it the worst MCU film? No. Personally, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp and Black Widow are the weaker films. It's just that Eternals is so forgettable and should have been a TV show on Disney+. It's annoying because I think we all agree that this film had the potential to be really great, and with the exception of Roadrunner, the characters are actually interesting. Let's just get some of the more boring issues with this film out of the way so I can get to the meat of the video. The CGI in this film is all over this place. Sometimes it looks great, and other times I feel like I'm watching an actor standing in front of a green screen. The tone of the movie flips from deep, philosophical musings of what it means to be human, to just your average MCU quip that lands with a thud more often than it lands how Marvel hopes it does. The movie also struggles with pacing and runtime, adding further credence to the fact that this should have been a series. Now let's talk about the film's greatest shortcoming, its characters. There's clearly too many, and it feels like they exist purely to have a group shot. This character, this character, this character, and this character should not have been in the film. Again, these characters are not necessarily bad, but they are fat that should have been trimmed from the film. A character trapped in the body of a child who wants nothing more than to experience life as an adult, that's an interesting concept, but is irrelevant to the film's story, and the film does nothing to justify its existence. Kingo is meant to be the comic relief of the film, and again, the concept of an immortal man leading a never-ending career in showbiz is a cool idea. But like with Sprite, they add nothing to the film's plot, and the dude even decides to stay out of the film's final act, showing how pointless his existence is to the film. Discount Flash has no interesting concept to fall back on, so it's not like there's at least a cool idea to prop up their crap character. They just shouldn't be in the film. They're the 10th wheel on a truck with too many wheels. Lastly, the villain who evolves after absorbing the power of an Eternal is also a great gimmick, but sadly they do nothing with him, and his only purpose in the film was to kill Gilgamesh and then die in the third act. What a waste. Especially of someone like Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård is a great actor and they've wasted him on such a crap character. Also, before anyone says anything, Gilgamesh could have been killed by any old deviant and the plot remains the same. Now let's get onto the characters that actually matter. Cersei is a wet blanket of a character with no defining personality, driven by a dull performance from Gemma Chan, who injects about as much excitement into the role as the average critic did into their reviews of this film. Icarus is probably the best character in the movie, and also the film's greatest mistake, the reveal of spoilers, although I have just realised that I spoiled Gilgamesh's death, but anyway, spoilers coming up. The reveal of him being the villain and the one responsible for Ajax's death is again very interesting, and Richard Madden effectively showcases how torn up he is about going against his friends and the woman that he loves. The film actually sets up his character to have an engaging arc that would be wonderful to see develop in sequels. So of course the writers had the great idea to have the character fly into the sun and die. What a waste. Of course they had to have the guy called Icarus fly into the sun. The relationship between Fina and Gilgamesh is explored decently and doesn't distract from the story. The death of Gilgamesh also adds weight and stakes to the film, and the two characters actually feel useful in a fight. A lot of the best action scenes come from Fina, so it's a little sad that she doesn't have a personality to back up her badassery. Ajax is integral to the plot, so they couldn't get rid of her. By this point, I'm realising how many characters are in this bloody film. Druig raises interesting questions, and once again, the film completely ignores them and does very little with them. Like Eternals as a whole, he's a good idea that is never fleshed out. Finally, there is Phastos, who, like Ajax, is too integral to the plot to remove, and like the rest of the Eternals, is given a compelling backstory that the film disregards and does absolutely nothing with. He provided weaponry to the humans, really following the rule of not interfering with humanity there, my guy. Honestly, the film is just a mess of great ideas that was poorly executed by a director who was in way over her head, and written by writers who either did not have the intelligence or patience to explore these profound ideas. You've probably noticed that my criticism of the film is basically this: there are too many ideas and not enough time to indulge them, leading to the first MCU film to break Marvel's winning formula. Essentially, the film is just boring and will only be remembered for its rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. However, I would rather rewatch Eternals over Black Widow any day. Thanks for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you can.